in Jain philosophy, as we have seen, one of the ashravas, influx of karmic particles in the soul, was yoga. And yoga generally is not the yoga what we mean in the traditional Western sense. Yoga generally means physical, mental, and body activities is generally what Jains really as yoga. So according to Jains, the cause for activity for any jeev is karma. Type of activity kare, whether it's physical, mental, vichar and bodily activities, it's for karma. So whenever we have our prayers, Jain prayers, if I've done what is done, or even contemplation or encourage others, so all those activities will actually be a cause for karmic bondage. Now, this is very important. Jainism is the only religion, I think I mentioned it last time, it's the only religion so far, there is a physical form of karma which is called karma and gargan. What this means, after there is jiv and ajiv. So, jiv means kapra soul, atma, and ajiv means anything which is not soul. So, ajiv ma kai pan attitude. This table is made of matter, pudgal. So, similarly, this body is made of pudgal, matter. But within this body, there is an atma. So, that differentiation is there. So similarly, with karma, Jains are the only ones who postulate that karma is actually a form of particles, matter particles. And we will actually go in a little bit more detail. What kind of matter particles are there? Is it the same matter particles as the table? But this is a very interesting point. There is no Hindu tradition, no Buddhist, no one has actually come to the form of saying that karma is actually a form of karmic particles. And it's almost like light, physics ma koi ke, so there were two theories. Some people say that light is a waves. And there are a lot of theories and physical equations which then go according to light being a wave particles. And others say that light is a form of particles. Being a juda equation says, so that's such a dual nature of light. Yeah, light the people who study physics, they'll come across that light has got two forms. And both forms are right. You can actually have different equations, different devices, instruments working on both those aspects. So it's a dual nature. You cannot say okay, light is only particles or light is only waves. So similarly, karma is a form of particles, but then again we come to the point, the particles of joy, so how the interaction with us as a soul. I mean, so then they come into a division with bhav karma and dravya karma. So dravya means substance, which is particles, and bhav means that the inclination of my soul, my atmana inclinations, those are the ones which will attract the karma particles. So it's a kind of a two-way relationship between the soul and the particles, matter. So there is a constant interaction between the soul, jeev, and ajeev. So karma comes under both sense. Karma. Maharaj vichar javera ke krodh, man, maya, that's form of a bhav karma, which then attracts the karma particles, and it's a kind of a vicious circle. Before we go into the karmic particles, one of the reasons which people say, why do I want to believe in the karmic theory? And generally what happens is, we have seen in many day life instances, plane plane I did not go, plane crashed you. Ek jan bachi gyu, ek jan someone went away. Road accident, one saved, other dies. So there's a lot of inequalities in life. So there's nothing seems to be. Innocent is hanged on the gallows, real culprit escapes. Multi-millionaires turn spoke for overnight and vice versa. So one of the most rational way of thinking that such strange happenings can only be explained by the laws of karma. That's a simplistic way of believing in karma. Otherwise, why would there be such inequalities? And this almost becomes like the conclusion of the whole karmic theory. The man of religion bears adversity, problem with cheer, and recoils from sin. I want to come back. Whereas man without religion, who does not believe in this kind of karmic theory, holds others to blame for his misfortunes and commits many evil deeds to end his misery. So you can see a lot of the people, let's say enter into war, they're the culprits. Whereas we people sometimes are coming as docile people. We don't become too proactive. We sometimes believe, Japan future, because in one way, what you think of it, Japan problems in one way it's actually so that's a way of actually feeling grateful. At least my karma khapai. But at the same time, you don't want to bind more karma. Now, Jainism does not become equal to fatalism. જે થવાનું છે થયું છે, જે માંગ્યું છે, જે કોઈ થયું છે, it does not believe in fatalism. It does not believe in activism. જે મારા કર્મમાં લખ્યું છે એ થવાનું છે. Why should I do any activity? Let me just sit there and just be laid back. So it's not a laissez-faire. Because આરામ કરો આપણે જે માંગ્યું છે what's going to happen. It does not sort of say it depend on destiny, but religion of activism. Destiny તો છે જ. આપણે જે past કર્મમાં બાંધ્યા છે, so there is some kind of destiny is happening. But when we go into the karmic theory in more detail, you will see that destiny can then be changed. If it was just all it was just pure destiny, then we don't have any hope. Then there is no liberation. And it's almost a very scientific theory of how James will explain how the karmic theory and how you can do activism. Tell me, what proactive steps can you do to get rid of your karmas and not bind your karma? Man is the architect of his own destiny. This is repeated in the Agams many a times. Acharan Sutrama, Agams, this is the beginning. You are the you are the creator of your own destiny. Karta ne bhokta tame cho. Anything else is secondary. The other thing which is also mentioning on the sutras, you cannot expect figs to grow on thistles. Kata upar, you cannot expect figs to grow. Similarly, તમે જો આપણે પાસમાં ખરાબ actions કર્યા હોય, you cannot expect to get the beneficial things. So in one way, bad actions good actions will reap good benefits, and similarly, bad actions will sort of give you kind of the punishing sort of pains. What's one of the key things to understand the karmic philosophy within Jainism? God is not the creator of the world. That's very, very important because Bhagwan is a mind which Bhagwan, inshallah, we do not believe in God as the creator of the world. ભગવાન જો ખુશ હશે તો ભગવાન આપણને કરશે. We do not believe in any external entity who say કે હા કોઈ આપણા પર ખુશ થશે તો આપણને થશે. And this is very important because otherwise if you look at a lot of the Hindu philosophy, astrologer ઉપર જાય આ જાય કે શું લખ્યું છે, can you please tell me, and let's do some puja કે જો કોઈ ખુશ થશે તો કંઈક આપણું fortunes change થઈ શકશે. So that's why the science is there, but how you sort of take that science, it doesn't mean that astrology is wrong. But God is not the creator, so there is no other entity, third person, who is going to be affecting our root. We are the architect of our own destiny. That's very, very important according to the Jain karmic theory. There is an independent substance, soul, independent, which is conscious, beginningless, and indestructible. That means the root of the karmic theory is to understand there is a soul, a separate entity. Soul jo na hoy, Buddhism generally, Buddhism don't believe in a soul. Buddhism and Jainism are 99% very similar. Karmic theory, rebirth, but Buddhist, the fundamental is they do not believe in an entity like soul. There is a substance like soul. And so what we believe, there is independent substance. But yet there is something which is independent, which is conscious, beginningless. So we do not get into this chicken and egg solution. Did the chicken come first or the egg come first? This is one of the most important stuff to understand. And indestructible. Nothing can destroy the soul. Acharan Sutrama, there is a lot of exposition says fire cannot destroy it. Gamme ke pani hoy, tsunami cannot destroy the soul. There has been a whole kind of descriptions which says there is nothing which can destroy the soul. There is no power which can destroy the soul. The soul has been, all souls have been in the past, exist and will exist for the future. No heavenly beings, no hellish beings, no one has got the power to destroy the soul. The soul is, will be, and is always going to exist. Salient features of the Jain karma theory. Karma is a universal rule and affects all worldly living beings. Not only us here, animals, plants, heavenly beings, hellish beings. It's affecting everyone. Jenavan jeev che, and we have seen all the different jeeves. It's a universal law. It's affecting everyone. You don't think there are special laws. There are physical laws. After heavy day, if you take a go into the moon, it's a different law. This is a universal rule. It's going to affect everyone. There is nothing. I mean, Jain universe, the karma theory will hold true. It's a kind of a materialistic physical power. As we've seen, karma is in a way twofold. One is because of the living beings. They are going to be, because of their activity, their disposition, they are going to be attracting the kind of materialistic power. It's a two-in-one. So results of karma due to the disposition of the soul. Disposition means after soul, what am I thinking? Anger, growth, man, maya, likes, dislikes. That's kind of the activities of that's consciousness, the feelings. So the result of the karma is this plus activity. Like the activity karta hoy, ne pachi raag ne dvesh, anger ne growth. Then psychophysical force. Psycho means because of the soul and physical. So karma can be very well described by Jainism as a psychophysical force. Psycho is because of the soul power. That soul power means you're attracting the karmic particles, sticking to your soul, and therefore it's a psychophysical force. Two in one. After bonding of karma, there is a possibility of conversion in it. This is really, I mean, if anyone wants to live after life, this is a ray of hope for all of us. Karma binda pachi, the possibility of conversion in it. And Jainism will go into so much more detail what kind of conversions can happen. And that's a ray of hope. And that's the reason why if you look at the history, Jain books the kings, they've done atrocious crimes in their lives. Bhagwan Mahavir, there music ચાલતું હતું ત્યારે એના previous ભાગમાં he was a king and at that time એને કીધું કે જ્યારે હું ત્યારે થઈ જાઉં ત્યારે મ્યુઝિક સ્ટોપ થવું જોઈએ and ત્યારે એક જે માણસ હતો તો one of his he just carried on because he was so engrossed in music and when Bhagwan Mahavir woke up he said I'm the king why are you continuing with the music when I told you that it should have stopped when I fall asleep. Any kusama in avine I think molten whatever liquid lead in ola kanma naika so you couldn't follow my instructions and that person died and in the future Bhagwan Mahavir himself then had to bear the kila Bhagwana. But the most important part is people have committed atrocious crimes and yet they have now become Tirthankar. We can become very blasé. Oh, ane to aam kiru, to kharab manas che. We all have got something, anything bad still, there is possible of conversion in it and yet becoming God. So if you do not become sort of, oh, ato bahut sara manas hai, bahut kharab manas. There is relativity in everything. Karta ne bhokta. You do and you reap. Karta ne bhokta. Result of karma bestowed on soul automatically, not by God or any other outside agency. Very important. કોઈ નથી બ્રહ્મા નથી વિષ્ણુ નથી મહેશ કોઈ નથી. Results of karma are bestowed on soul automatically. It's a universal law. There is no one out there who has to go by the rule. Okay. Limbo, Christian faith is in limbo. There's a day of judgment. That someone's going to be deciding. That's yes, that's a way of doing it, but that's karma for us. And there's no other God or anyone who is going to be deciding through judgment day. Atma by its own efforts can become free from its time immemorial bondage. So it's very important. Why is this? Was I first free? Mara Atma saw pure to no. Ever since beginning, our soul has been sort of tainted, spoiled. And now, Adhyatmic sadhana, process of discipline, practice of religious life, is to inhibit bondage of new karma. So if you now look at inhibit bondage of new karma, you want to stop that coming in and get free from bonded karmas. Stop karo, nirjara karo. It's all kind of fitting into this karmic theory. Pap, punya, maybe that. So navaje karma ava chahiye, stop karwa chahiye. And so this is the essence of our life. It's a very simplistic. What is the purpose of life and sort of ultimate liberation? I don't want to bind new karmas. And Japan karmas binda che, I want to get rid of those karmas. So that's essentially, and that's not for this lives, for all our lives until we get to liberation. Okay. Now, I think essentially to go into karma in a little bit more details. Karma is a mass of infinite molecules. Table ma, there will be some molecules here. Divide karo, there will be small molecules coming in. So karma is a mass of infinite molecules, pudgal. And I think what I'm going to be doing is we go a little bit further on. I might take some 15-20 minutes to actually go into pudgal. What is material, what is matter, which will actually make us understand karma in much more better. So a specific group of matter. So after the humans, humans male, female, child. So again in matter, it's a specific group of matter. They're not all particles. This part matter particles are different. So there will be a specific group of matter particles called karma vargan. Workan is a kind of a group of particles which is attracted and assimilated by the jeev. આપણા સોલ સાથે so these matter particles have got that property એ જીવ સાથે ચોટશે બીજા બધા particles ની ચોટે આ જ particular form of કર્મ વગન particles. And then we'll go into it. આ દેખાય છે કે નથી દેખાતા? What are the properties of these કર્મ વગન particles? So union between psychical always means soul, and physical is divide of priority of possibility. એટલે આ જે union આપણા આત્મા અને કર્મ સાથે જે આપણે જે combination છે, there is nothing like which was first, which was later. પેલા મારા આત્મા હતો ને પછી કર્મ ચોઈટા, પેલા કર્મ હતા ને પછી મારા આત્મા એની સાથે ચોઈટો. It has always been bonded together, so there is nothing like first and later. What was first? It's without that. Otherwise you can't explain, because otherwise my soul was free. Then if my soul was free at the beginning, so how did that soul get tainted? Why did the karma stick to that soul? Or if the karmas were first, then was my soul born, and did my soul, what made it to attract to the karma particles? So there is nothing like which is first or later. They've always been together since time immemorial. Union of jeev and karma is like that of milk and water. दूध ने पानी તમે હોય separate, પણ તમે એક સાથે કરો, they are two separate entities. પણ જ્યારે તમે એક mix કરી નાખો, then you cannot see. They are all sing together, दूध ने पानी. So that's exactly how. And I think our religious scriptures have a lot of description, because they are from how do you understand those things? It's always through some kind of examples. A lot of similes given. So the subtle most matter of karma organs fills the entire cosmos. So karma particles fills the entire cosmos. આપણા અહીંયા છે, heavenly planesમાં છે, બધી આખા યુનિવર્સમાં these particles are there. હવે it's depending on our activity which ones you attract and which one you repel. So defiled mundane soul, આપણે જે souls under the influence of passions always engage in action. આપણે દર વખતે actionમાં છે mental, vocal and physical, produce vibration in the soul, and this attracts the aggregates of matter. આપણી જે બધી activities આપણે કરે છે, ક્રોધ, માન, માયા, મન, વચન, કાયાથી, all these activities are producing some kind of subtle vibrations in the soul, and these are the ones which are attracting the metals of the aggregates of matter. So it's very important to see that there's a lot of description between soul and matter now. Okay, there's a lot of karma is actual sense of karma is karma particles, matter particles. So karma theory in a nutshell, karma particles બધે જ છે અહીંયા. Now bandh, activities and disposition. So આપણે બંધ કેવી રીતના કરી શકીએ karma particles in a nutshell through our activities મન વચન કાયા, and then through our disposition ક્રોધ માન માયા લોભ રાગ and દ્વેષ. So it's very simple, 4 and 2. So activities are threefold. So karma particles are here, and this is my pure soul. So if my pure soul, but I'm not right now in my pure soul, karma particles are there, and I am having bondage with the karmic particles because of activities man vachan kaya, and my man vachan kaya are not pure. They are always tainted by some kind of dispositions, krodh man maya lobh, likes and dislikes, however subtle they are, and this is causing bondage to the pure soul. So, and the most important thing about karmas don't give effect immediately, they ripen over a period. This stage is called sata. Almost like you sow a seed in the ground, તમે એને water કરો, and after a little bit of time તમને ઝાડ આવશે. You don't have instant reaction કે તમે કે seed તમે sow કરો ને તરત ઝાડ ઉગી ગયું. Same thing with this, karmas don't give you effect. So there's always a period. આજે કર્મ ચોઈટા, there's going to be certain period of time after which they give it the effect. And then if you think of it logically, because of that period there is time for transformation. So there is in that period there's a lot of there's things which you can do to then make sure that the effect can be changed. And once they're right, it's known as uday. So there are two things, karma. So if you draw a line, karma bondage theo, bondage pachi certain period સુધી is always in a state of latent. So એમને પડ્યા છે શાંત. Then pachi once when they right to uday, karma udayમાં આવ્યા. They're rising, they're giving the effect right now. And that effect would be happiness or unhappiness in a nutshell. Effects could be different. તમને knowledge મળ્યું કે knowledge ના મળ્યું, તમને faith છે કે નથી. જો જુદા જે categories of karma છે, then we look at the effects of those. So this is another way of looking at look, soul, beginningless and defiled soul. We have seen the 5 ashrams. Ashravas are what? That entries or doors of entry through which the carbon particles will enter our soul. And we saw which are the five main factors here. So આ છે plus what glues them to them. આપણે જે glue જે છે એ કેટલું bind કર્યું attachment રાગ and દ્વેષ. કેટલું તમે disposition થી તમે કરો છો intensity થી, those are the ones which will actually say the intensity of the karma particles. કોઈ બીમાર પડે તો એને ચાલો કે તમને કોલ્ડ થયું છે, ઓ 2 દિવસમાં પૂરું થઈ ગયું ને કોઈકને it's like a terminal illness. So this adhesiveness, the glue of the karmas તો ચોઈટા છે પણ કેટલા બાઇન્ડિંગ કરે છે that depends on your attachment and aversion. કેટલું ઘણા માણસો like I hate you and some I love you, okay, I cannot do that, I'm attached to this. So this kind of તમારી intensity જે છે, these are the ones which actually is like the glue. So as you can see, beginningless soul, this kind of ashram plus this attachment then makes us go revolve in these four gatis. આપણે સાથીઓ કરે છે કે this is the animal kingdom, this is the human kingdom, sort of animal heaven, humans and Tyrian, the animals. So these are the four gatis. So when we do the satyo, you can see we are always revolving around this in these four domains. And then through samyuk darshan gnan charitra, the three dots are chokhati aapne kare, through these three things, if we get samyuk darshan gnan charitra, we can then reach siddhashila. So this is the symbol of where the heaven is, moksha is. So that's kind of when you do the satyo. So again, as you said, karma is the mental, vocal and bodily actions, yoga, which you have seen here, leaves impression, material in nature on the soul, material. આપણે જે પણ એક્ટિવિટી કરીએ છીએ કે આપણા આત્મા સાથે there is some kind of matter which is not jeev, which is attached to the soul. Now I'll go a little further. What are the different types of bodies we can have? કે matter કઈ જાતની body છે, we'll just look at a little bit more detail. I'll go a bit later in the next few slides. So what you now seen, karma is pudgal, is a physical substance, and physical substance can be of two types. Parmanu. So Parmanu is one technical term which means ultimate atom. કે તમે આ ગમે તે હોય, you keep on dividing and until you come to a point which is indivisible. Now even આપણે જે physics કરતા જે કરે છે કે electrons હોય and they keep on dividing, even if they look at this આપણે જે Switzerland માં લોકો છે કે we are looking for the ultimate particles, these according to us are even infinite particles. They are not the ultimate particle, they are very gross. They're still big. You can even divide them further. So this comes to a point where it's almost unimaginable. Okay, which but eventually, this is in a way like it's not a conceptual point, it's a true point, but from our mental point of view, it's too small to think about. And then what happens is, if you've got that smallest particle, if they join, that becomes a skand, that becomes an aggregate. એક નાનો પાર્ટિકલ એને તમે બે કરો કે ત્રણ જોઈન કરો, વોટર છે તો H2O, ત્રણ પાર્ટિકલ છે. So anything which is joined, it becomes a skand, like an aggregate. So karma particles are not parmanu, they are not single alu. Many particles of matter are formed and then they become a cluster and then becomes a karma vargan. So that becomes a gulu. So karma is not that ultimate atom. And the nana atoms just a matter which then form, and that particular property which then forms karma vargan, a particular class of matter. I'll now just slowly take you to that what pudgal is. I might take 10-15 minutes of pudgal because I think it's very important to understand what pudgal is. I don't want to go through everything in detail. I'll pick up the important points here. Okay, so pudgal means pulan and galan. That's how it. Pulan and galan. Pulan means fusion, join karu. And galan means fission. So that's what it means. As we have seen, when particles join together, then you'll actually have a fusion. But obviously energy is released. This is according to physics. And you can have a big atom, an atom one, and then you give it some kind of knock, you can actually have other particles. What to hold, how much you can make it smaller. So this is known as integration. So one, results in physical objects. Yeah, so one integration. So after, how do these physical properties form? Molecules join together to actually then form. So that's one થાય છે, and then they actually form physical objects. Actually, they're not single particles. They all join together. And ભેદ, these are the two technical terms આપણા શાસ્ત્રમાં છે. ભેદ means disintegration. કે એક particles હોય એટલે તમે slice it until it becomes smaller. You can have something for 4 particles. You subtract one, so that 4 particles can become 1 and 3 particles. That can become 2 and 2, or it can become 1, 1 and 2, or 1, 1, 1 and 1. So our aggregate mathi you now got these are parmanus, ultimate smallest atoms. So 4 mathi you can get 1 parmanu and a skand of 3 particles. Skand means a group of 3. Or you can have a skand of 2 and 2. Skand means obviously more than 1. Or you can have parmanu and the skand of 2. And these are like 4 can become a parmanu, and parmanu. So that's a single individual atom. Now this is very critical. Any matter now, we are talking about table, my body, matter, karma particles, any matter of particles has got these 4 fundamental properties. Any matter, all matter. આપણે કેમ પાણીને કે ગમે તે બોઇલિંગ પોઈન્ટ આ છે ગમે તે મેટર હોય એ લોકો પાસે 4 પ્રોપર્ટીઝ છે. Color, and color can be of 5 types: black, blue, red, yellow and white. These are primary colors. Smell, pleasant or unpleasant. Taste, bitter, stringent, sweet, sour or pungent. Hatu, mittu, bitter is not there. Touch, now this is very important. Touch, hot or cold, sticky or rough, smooth or hard, heavy or light. So 8 types of touches. Taste 5, 2 and 5 types of color. Now this obviously can vary from intensity. You can have 1 degree of hotness, very small, or infinite degrees. There could be a very classification. Yeah, a black, very small particle of black. So this intensity can keep on varying. But it's very important to know that that's what James believed. Game the particle hoy, whether it's any table, anything has got this 4 of properties. Now, okay, next slide. So this is very important to know of this. Any matters, visible or invisible, they're all have got these properties, and that will. Okay, so Pudgal is being capable of taking in and transformed by Jeev. Interaction between physical and psychical existence is threefold. So, karma, specific group of matter called karma vargan is attracted and split by Jeev. So we've seen that there is a particular group of particles which the soul attracts. Now, our body is a body. Each Jeev must have a body as an instrument for expression of pleasure and pain during its worldly existence. So what kind of bodies do we believe in? James believes that generally there are 4 kinds of bodies. Oderic body means our body is oderic body. Vacric body. This body is actually held, hellish beings and the heavenly beings have got this kind of bodies. What this body does is that you got the capability of transformation. They can change the transformation. Animal થઈ જાઓ. So that's it. Harak body is a very special type of body which James have put it in the scriptures. That's known as a communication body. For example, અહીંયા કોઈ સાધુ મહારાજ હોય and they can મને એટલું તપને સાધના કરતા હોય and they want to communicate with, say for example, Simandar Swami. કે આ મને doubt છે અમુક. So a certain body from the body will radiate, go there and come up. So almost like time travel, astral travel. It's a form of body which, and Tejas body, this is again very important. Tejas body is a communication body, and the communication body means that આપણી પાસે આ body છે and આપણી પાસે કર્મ છે. So there is always an interaction between Jeev and the karma. So what the Tejas body does is, so for example, કે મારા કર્મમાં મને anger આવ્યો. So anger આવ્યો, so that means કે મારી કર્મ ચોઈટા. એ કર્મ ચોઈટા, so that means કે મારું there are certain physical reactions happening in my body. મારો હું લાલ થઈ ગયો. So what's causing those bodily actions? That anger is actually pure soul. It's so much. How did it transform into my body reaction? My heartbeat વધી ગયું, મને મારો લાલ કલર થઈ ગયો. That's known as some kind of electrical body, the communication body. So what, and this is the one, and the most important these controls is the endocrine glands, the Tejas body. જે પણ આપણે transformation થતો હોય એ ઘણા માણસો આપણે fight or fear, adrenal glands. So this body, so that's why the people say chakras and the endocrine glands has got a lot of effect with this tejas body. It's a kind of a communication body between the soul and the physical body. And there's actually a lot of science, and people have done PhDs into this, and we'll look at some of the conclusions of their PhDs. And then prana, vital functions, breathing, nutrition, speech, and thought. But these are all particles of matter. Swasa pe leche, they say that's particles of matter. There are certain particles of matter which are for breathing. Certain particles of matter which are for nutrition. Certain particles of speech. Bolwa mate, my soul is attracting those certain particles from the atmosphere, and then that's the reason I can actually speak. So it's a combination of both. Okay, my soul wants to say something, and then because what I want to say, I'm attracting those speech particles of matter which are of that speech category. And what again Jain said is a form of particles. There are certain groups of particles which are for thinking. So these are all subcategories of particles of matter. I won't go into that. This is going to. Okay, this is important. Skunks, any group of particles when they grow. So we say that particles in touch, taste, color, and smell. Now, particles of matter can have 3 or 4 types. They could have 4 types of touch: hot or cold, dry or viscous. Dry or viscous generally means positive and negative charge. So people who are now interpreting dry and viscous means kind of positive and negative charge. Electron packet, positive, negative. Now there could be other particles of matter which have got 8 types of touch. They don't have all the 8 types. These have only got 2: charge, spurs means touch. They don't got 4 types of touch: hot or cold, dry or viscous. So they don't have all the 8 types of touches. And others have got 8 types of touch: as above, plus heavy and light, hard and soft. Now think about this. Why can't we see carbon particles? Can I feel carbon particles? Heavy and light is mass. Anything which humans and scientists do can only deal with these kinds of matter particles. Japan scientists are whatever instruments can decide, because this has got mass. This has got mass, and therefore you can have it's physical. So that means thermal particles, if they are this, you cannot see them, they are massless. There's no instrument which is actually going to detect these kind of particles. They've got no mass. You cannot see them. There's no weight. So this heavy and light, hard and soft is 8 types of, they've got these 8 types of touch. That now in a way explains, okay, there's nothing scientists or humans will do, any instruments, you will be able to detect karmic particles. You will not, because they do not have this heavy and light. So scientists can only deal with this. They cannot deal with this, because they're just no massless. And no mass હોય, what happens is, okay, for example, if something has got no mass, universe universe so mass હોય, there's a rule which says E equal to mc squared. There's going to be some time. If something has no mass, in one instant of time, a particle of matter can go from here to the end of the other end of the universe. In splitting, our soul can do the same thing. In one instant, what's going to happen? There's going to be no time. In one instant of time, our soul will go from wherever we are to the Sitchila. So same thing, particles of matter can also sort of go there. It goes into so much more detail as to what are the different rules of particles. When we do Pudgal, we can go into that a little bit in more detail. Okay, for example, they've also done divisions of Pudgal. How can you division? So Pudgal metal, they say Badar, gross. Okay, so mountains and rocks. So these are now divisions of Pudgal. Pudgal after divisions kare, so okay, kevi jata Pudgal hoy sake. Oh, rocks and mountains hoy sake. So you know what is the property of that? They do not unite themselves when broken or divided. It does not join together. So that's one property. And can be physically transported without a container. If you don't need a container, you can just take so that's a gross loss. It's a very big item. But this one also gross. That is liquid. So that's another form of matter, liquid. They become united again by themselves when broken. Pani hoy, separate join pani. So, and they have to be carried in containers. We need a bucket or something to carry the water. So that's gross, badar. Other sukshma. Badar means gross, sukshma means subtle. Gross, subtle, can neither be cut, nor broken, nor physically transported. You cannot break them, cannot cut them, you cannot physically transport them, but visible. You can see them with your eye. Light. You cannot break light, you cannot cut light, you cannot transport light, but it's visible. So he example tomorrow, he tomorrow other sukshma view. Thinking how Jainism have put this is all in the scriptures. They've written the divisions of matter. Sukshma Vada. Now what the emphasis more is on sukshma means something which is subtle, and then gross, subtle gross, invisible, but perceivable by other four senses. Example, ultraviolet, infrared, gases. આપણે જોઈ નથી શકતા, but other four senses માંથી you can probably infer them, but they're invisible. And sukshma, subtle, aggregates that are ultra sensual. Our senses we cannot detect them. They are not perceivable by any sense organ. ગમે તે sense organ, but they interact with jeev, karma, speech, thought. So these are so subtle that you cannot detect them, but they are there. You cannot see them. And sukshma, extra subtle aggregates that do not interact with jeev. Parmanus do not interact with jeev. The smallest particles of matter, which the karma we have seen, they're groups of particles. They're still too small, we cannot detect them, but they're still groups of particles. They're not single atoms. Whereas sukshma means they're just single parmanus which do not interact with jeev. They're so subtle. Now, I think this is the last slide I'll do about this one. So what we have said, the Udgar, okay, I Odrik means, what does Odrik mean? Udarun means gross, that's meaning it's made of gross matter. So our body is made of gross matter. This is gross matter. They all gross matter. So that's one meaning of Udaran, a gross. The second thing means, Udar means womb. What is produced by womb? We are all Odrik, we are all born out of a womb. So all organic bodies, human, animal, plant, cells, blood, bone, skin, etc. are organic. But you saw a Vaikrik Vargan. You see, this is a group of particles which are of the Vaikrik type. Okay, that means if our soul was born in hell or in heaven, there's not going to be like a 9 months gestation period. It's an instantaneous. You've now got this body here. In an instant, you'll be born into that. And what is the property of this body? You are capable of transformation at will. I want to change into this form, this shape, this form. You have the capability of transformation at will. Celestial and hellion beings are of this body. So when you're born in there. But if you have ahara body, which we've seen, that means they're more subtle than, these are more subtle. How the body say after joy sakhe. So the subtlety goes below. This you can see them. It's very different. They become much more subtle. Ahara, Tejas body, material body belonging to this group used by the soul to make subtle. This is the linking body between soul and karma, which we say the communication body. The karma, varga. Then swas, breathing, bhasa, and man. So these are all particles of matter having different properties. What's important to know here is we can look at the division. The matter shape, they all not of standard time. There are certain particles of matter which are fine. Certain particles of matter which are building block. I think that's the best way to think of it. There's this building block is for mind. Particles of matter. Other particles of matter is bhasa, speech. And then depending on what you want to use, those Lego blocks you start putting them together. So you can now really see the interaction between particle and jeev, soul and the particles of matter. I think I'll do the other ones a bit later. We can now go back to the karma one. So what we have seen is, I think I've really emphasized the point very hard about the matter. Matter is pudgal, touch, taste, color, and smell. And again, as we have seen, the touch are 8 types, and there could be divisions of either 4 or 8. Some particles of matter, 4 or 8. Okay, now let's move on from there. The common saying is, whatever happens because of karma only. This absolute statement is not true according to Jainism. Absolute statement. Whatever happens because of karma only. Karma is the only determinant. This becomes an absolute statement. And Jainism, Anekantwad is a very, very important philosophy, which is a theory of relativity. We don't make absolute statements. Absolutely right, absolutely sure. We do not believe in absolute. We believe in relativity. the development of Atma Gun does not happen because of karma. It happens because of the detachment of karma. It's very important. कि આપણે कर्म हमारा आत्मा ना qualities जे છે, how do I develop my Atma qualities? This does not happen because of karma. On the contrary, it happens because of detachment of karma. જેટલા મારા કર્મ મારા આત્માથી if I get them out, that means that my soul will get its own true quality. So it's exactly the opposite. Okay, karma ની હિસાબે આપણે what happens નહીં. જેટલા મારા કર્મ ખપે એટલું I'll actually get into my pure state. So what's the Jain perspective? Sickness or disease is not created only because of a particular space and time. Particular state of space and time excites karma, which creates sickness and disease. All exterior circumstances bring excitement in karma, various kinds of changes into the soul. So what happens is, આપણા કર્મમાં જે લખ્યું છે, so certain circumstances will come into the play, and then they'll cause the karma to sort of the sleeping state માં છે ઉદયમાં આવશે, because the factors are now ripe for the karma to come into place, and which brings various kinds of changes in soul. We'll explain this a little bit more detail here. Soul and karma is a direct relationship. Nothing affects me except for my soul and my karma. So that's only the direct relationship. But there's also some indirect relationships. Exterior circumstances excite interior circumstances, which affects the soul. Yes, there's no doubt. ખાલી soul ને કર્મ જ હોય, doesn't matter બારે ગરમી છે, ઠંડી છે, તમે કાંઈ બોલો. But yes, exterior circumstances will excite the interior circumstances. So the interior circumstances are what? The soul and the karma. There's a direct relationship. But exterior circumstances will actually influence them, which will affect the soul. But the direct interaction is always the soul and the karma, and then these are all kind of outer. As magnitude of purity increases, effect of exterior circumstances decreases. Very important. આપણા સાધ્વીજી જો, આપણા ચંદાજી જો, as magnitude of purity increases, effect of exterior circumstances decreases. ગમે તે લોકો સ્ટેટમાં હોય, you will always see the serenity and calmness on their face, because now the effect of exterior circumstances become much more less for them. Their state of the purity has really increased. Environment is only a stimulant and not a doer. Environment is not a doer. It's just a stimulant. આપણા માટે આપણા કર્મને stimulant કરશે. This is a very nice one. Effect of near and dear can make whatever effect a near and dear can make, further cannot make. જે પણ effect. So karmas are near and dear, circumstances are distant. એટલે આપણે ઘણી વાર કે તું મેરી જાન હો. So that means someone who is very close to you, they can make a much further effect. બાળકો બીજું કોઈ કહે, what difference does it make to you? So if anyone who is very close to you, that effect which they can make, a further cannot make to you. The same way, the karmas are near and dear, circumstances are distant. So your karmas are your direct cause, circumstances are a bit distant. Okay, so what Jains believe is a combination of 5 factors which is affecting our daily life. Time, kal, kshetra, space, swabhav, nature, purusha, effort, niyati, and karma. Karma is not independent. Not everything happens to me because of this. It's all these combinations in 5. It's a relative thing. Everything happens because of this is not true. Okay, everything happens just because of this. Just this and nothing else. That's not true. Everything happens just because of time. Nothing but just time. That's also not true. But everything happens because of this relatively. Because of this, relatively because of this, then that makes Jainism, it's true.
Rajesh,
Yeah.
what's universal law?
Sorry?
Universal law?
Yeah, I'll expand that in a little bit more detail. Because, in fact, I'll just come to this in the next slide. Okay, yeah. Okay, so these are the 5 concomitants. Carl. Now, what used to happen in the olden days, there used to be the Vedas and the lot of the Hindu philosophy. They sometimes believe in each of these in its absolute way. So sometimes people say, they just say everything happens in the world or everything is happening just because of time. Time has created world, time is God. These are absolute statements. Okay, whatever is happening to me or happens to anyone, animals, you, is time has created world. So without time there will be no world. In Mahabharata it says, time is the cause of all happiness and sorrow. So they just now believe that time હિસાબે જ બધું થાય છે. જે મારા કર્મ મારા time પ્રમાણે ઉદયમાં આવશે, it's going to happen of time. Time is the only cause for all life processes. This statement then makes it, according to Jain, false. Only. Time is only. I don't believe in anything else. Time is the only cause for all life processes. Jains refute. Even with favorable time, there is no rain. So what used to happen in the olden days, a lot of people used to have debates. Some Brahmins or Vedas, they'll say, this is it. And Jains would, it's not a stark. They will actually go into logic and outlook. And then how you can refute this. I disagree with this statement. And even with favorable time, there's no rain. How can you explain that? So we don't believe that time is the only cause for that. It's one of the cause. કેમ જે મારો ટાઈમ મારો કર્મ જે છે એનો જે ટાઈમ જે થઈ ગયો ઉદયમાં આવવાનો okay then yes it's going to give me effect. So there's no doubt about that. Then let's look at swabhav. Some people believe that swabhav is only who makes the thorns sharp, who makes the clouds. Everything occurs or controlled only due to its nature. So they just believe everything just depends on nature. Nature itself, everything happens in the world because of its nature. Oh, maro nature આવો જ છે એટલે આવો જ થવાનું જ છે. You can't say okay, fire no nature is just to burn. Fire does not have glue. So they just believe everything happens just because of its nature. Then that means કે બસ મારે કઈ કરવાનું નથી. Everything the nature પ્રમાણે જે થાય રાખે nature પ્રમાણે. આજે ઠંડી છે આજે વરસાદ whatever happens because of just nature. But see, let's look at niyati. What you saying? Niyati generally means everything is predestined. Whatever is happening, everything is foretold. Then that's one of the reasons why the astrology comes into picture. If everything is foretold, someone then has got the power to say what's going to happen because it's already predestined. This is already determined. So they don't have any faith in kriyavad. I do or I don't do it. There's no point. Everything is determined. Exam mark to pass on, so my fate is determined. So it doesn't matter if I study or if I don't study, it's okay because it's all determined. So whether I do or I don't do, so they just believe everything is on niyati. So there is no fruit according to what you have done. So this is how Jains refute. They say the તમે જે કર્યું છે determined to જેના પર જ છે. મેં કાંઈ પણ કર્યું it's already predetermined. So what Jains believe is universal law, there is no exception to the rule. So what does niyati, according to what Jains have defined the word niyati means, there is no exception to rule or law. So example, what they say is one who is born will die. So that according to Jain is a universal law. So it does not mean that everything is predestined. Yes, it is predestined that if I've taken birth, I'm going to die. So it does not come into my activity, oh, will I pass my exam or not? That's not a universal law. According to Jains, they say, so another way Jains have taken another way of determining this. When we look into karma theory into subsequent slides, there are different categories of karma. There's only one category of karma which is known as nikachit karma. And out of all the different subsets of karmas, you can bind karmas in different ways. Some are not that sticky, some can be changed, some can be transformed. But there's one category of karma which is nikachit, which means you're bound it in such intense passion that nothing you will do will actually get rid of it. You just have to suffer those consequences. So Jainism says yes, according to that, that's universal law. Nothing, no matter what effort you do, Bhagavan Mahavir, he had to have those, after all this sadhana, he still had to have those kilda and thokana, other karma, because of the karma he had bound at that stage, that was nikachit karma. That nothing which he did, all the sadhana he did, he could not get rid of those kind of karmas. Those are nikachit karmas. So according to that, that's universal law. Okay, that karmas cannot be transformed. But you believe in day-to-day activities. Oh, my exam pass kari, so can you please tell me what's going to happen in the future? Well, you can perhaps guess, but I've got the power to change that. So Kala doctor tell you, oh, you've got this, but yes, with sadhana I might be able to take, unless it's not nikachit, which we do not know, but this time and effort, oh yeah, he did this, and we have heard a lot of miraculous stories also. Cancer, he was cured. And Purushat means effort. Effort's the only reason for change. So Jain perspective is, we'll look into these different activities we will look further, because this is to me, this is really the essence of the karma theory, because this gives you the explanation of how you can change or modify karma. And the different categories, we'll look at that in a little bit more detail as we go along. Okay, so just to summarize on this slide here, so what Jains believe is that everything is relative to this. Karma is not the only reason. A certain time can affect circumstances. Certain time, certain space. અમુક સ્પેસમાં મને આ થાય તો આ થાય. So for example, કે ઘણા કે મને આ atmosphere not falls, I fall sick here. If I go into winter or warmer climates, I don't get arthritis. So certain things, certain places can have a different effect, different transformation of karma. So it's all relative. All these are relative. All this in combination, it determines sort of our current lives. Okay, so what you now see is karma can now be dravya karma, which is particles, which I've spent a lot of time and effort, because I think this is something which is not highlighted and not many people know about this. According to Jainism, karma is a form of particles, it's a pudgal, and those particles, and then in the other word they use is nimit. And bhav means the state of the soul, and this is a disposition of the soul, upadan. So this is the main cause, and this is the auxiliary cause. Obviously the same, je mane krodh ayo, mane man ayo. So that's the main part, and that's the reason why this is being attached to this. But then you say, okay, again, in a way it's a circular, so why happened once? So that one thing is you have to come around it. So it's always been bound. That pehla mane ayo ne pachatiu, well, it's always, in the beginning it was always the same. Getting on, it's always an interaction of both of this. Depending on your state of your soul, you'll do this, and depending ke tamare nirjara karwana che, so you'll get rid of this. So depending on this, so this is the main part, the state of your soul. Because karma is not more powerful than the soul. It's a very, very important statement. Karma is not more powerful. Jeev has got more power than this, than the particles of matter. Yeah, so what we have seen is karma, it's matter dravya, and soul is bhav. Feelings of, I think it's now, I think at the end of this lecture you should really know, okay, soul, passions are char, main char passions, and then rag and dvesh. This is in a nutshell really what causes this. And passions, but like char che bande can a lot of subcategories also. So this is what's causing us in the karmic bondage, and because of this, we are attracting the matter, which are one of the 8 types of karma vargan. Because karma particles, we believe in there are 8 karmas, which the soul binds. There are 8, and we'll look in them later. So one of the 8 types of karmas are attached to the soul because of this cause and effect. It's a mutual. Okay. Okay, so now we are going into the karma theory, like in a little bit more detail now. We have now done the kind of the basics, we've understood it. Now we are saying, okay, this is according to Jainism, karma. Karma can be ghati karma or aghati karma. So these are the two main fundamental divisions. And ghati karma, there are 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And aghati karma, there are 5. So these are the 8 particles of karma. So Jainism believes there are 8 different particles of 8 karmas which bind the soul. 8 and no more. 8. Ghati is something very strong, something which obscures the fundamental nature of the soul. And if the engine is broken, you cannot do anything with the car. Your car is totally non-functional. But light bulb you can still drive the car. It's still functional. So if the engine is broken, that's your ghati karma. That's it. Your car is totally gone. You cannot, unless you change the engine. These are very strong. They totally transform the nature of the soul. This is aghati, which is responsible for the soul in the worldly form. So this actually obscures the fundamental nature. The nature of the soul, the nature it just totally distorts. Pure form. So this is a very strong form. It distorts the nature of the soul. This does not distort the nature of the soul. It causes some effects. Ayushya karma. Yeah, Ayushya does not change my look. It just makes me in this samsara. I cannot go to moksha. Gotra, what status I have, does not change the nature. Oh, Ajay, tamare wo high nature che. You are high in the society. You have good prestige. Or others you are untouchable che. It does not fundamentally distort the nature of the soul. I'd actually done a presentation for the kids, and I'll just show you an Excel spreadsheet. So, I don't know, some of you might have seen this. So what we have here is ghati karmas, which are 4. Nanavarniya karma, Dakshinavarniya karma, Mohiniya karma, and Antaray karma. So these are the 4 main types of ghati karmas. And aghati karmas are nam karma, body making karma, gotra, status, ayushya, and vednya, feeling. Mana the pains you, mana pleasure I. Now let's look at the karma classification. So if you just click here, so let's say enter your name. So we can call it, any volunteers, any names? So now, this is now going and giving you all the different subcategories of Matignan, Shuddhagnan, and these are all the subcategories. Now, after Adotya, and I've got subdivisions of it. Which are the subdivisions? This is taking too long, so let's do it a bit faster. Yeah, so now what this has now done is given you Nanavarniya karma after the subdivisions. Darshana Varinya Karma are the divisions, and it's gone through each one of them and done this. So now let's sum them up. So that's it. Nana Varinya, there are 5 subdivisions. And if you count them, there are 9. Mohinya Karma, 28. Antray Karmana 5. Nam Karmana 93. Gotra 2. You get high status or low status. Ayushya 4. You can be born as Manusha, humans. Dev, Tiryans, animals, or Narki, hell, and Vednya, Vednya, Sata or Vasata. So those are all the so if you add up, I think there are about 140 some kind of total karmas. So these are all the different karmas. Come on. You can come on. You can listen in. It's going to be 2-3 minutes. Let's finish this off. So essentially these are, and we look into some of them in a little bit more detail in the following lectures, but this now gives you all the subdivisions of karmas, and you can imagine, okay, if you have a book on karma, you would have gone into all these things in so much more detail. In fact, yeah, so the total sum is 148. So total number of all those are 148 karmas. Yeah, we've just seen this slide here. Okay, I just do just 2 more slides. So what happens is, you want to destroy the karmas. If people destroy the 4 ghati karmas, you can still be in a human form. So let's look at the difference here. Arihant kon, Siddh kon, na apne kon che. So someone who has destroyed the karmas, if they've destroyed the 4 ghati karmas, so any soul which has destroyed this 4, achar mein destroy kari nahi khache, what happens to them is that they become sort of, so they have now almost become Keval Gnani. You have now, but they are still in human form. I think they are still living on the earth. They have still got a body. But there are some special souls who preach and live. Arihant, Mahavir, Adeshwar. These are all special souls. It's like after the humans, but there's always a Obama. There's always a David Cameron. But so we are all like humans. So we are like this, and Obama and David Cameron could be the special people who are leading us. So Arihant, so they are still in a human form. They've all destroyed their 4 ghati karmas, and the special souls are Arihants when they were on the earth in human form. And all the other souls, and if you destroy his 4 karmas here, you will still be in a human form. You've got Keval Gnan, you've got infinite knowledge now, but you are still in the human form. And then when you destroy the remaining 4 karmas, 8 karmas, then you become a Siddh. That's when you go to moksha. So when you destroy the 4, you are still in the human form. And those human forms are like Namo Arihantanam. So Simandar Swami in Mahavidya Kshetra, he has destroyed these 4 karmas. He is an Arihant. He is preaching to the people, the souls there. So, and anyone else who has destroyed this, and once when you destroy this, your moksha is guaranteed, because all what you have now is to remaining achar nikli jai, so you are going to Siddhashila. So the key is to get rid of these 4 ghati karmas. You destroy these 4 ghati karmas, your moksha is guaranteed in that same life, that lifetime. You don't have to take any more births. You destroy this, you are now guaranteed you are going to moksha. That's it, no more life or death. But as I said, it's very important to know, okay, they're still humans. When you destroy this, you're still in a human form, you've got a body, you've got everything. And the specials are Arihant, others are Kevali. And those who have destroyed all 8, they don't have a body. They're out in the Siddhashila. So then that's it. So that's what we call as happily ever after. Yeah, okay, so I think I'll leave it at this, and we can look into Ghati Karma and other divisions of karma in the following lectures.
Okay, Rajesh, so just wanted to ask, especially the lady that you are not the men who ever do this thing, cooking. You friend does cooking down here. But you're looking backwards now. We just wanted to know